So yeah, you guys
And
had
the one lady unthawed, right?
yes.
We have
she led us to the
housekeeper.
not courtroom, but the throne room. I guess.
Not like you though.
Oh shit! Are we right outside the king's
You
Well,
like walked
we
in.
I think we were, yeah.
Yeah, you guys like walked in.
There's like a frost elemental thing.
Yeah, so you guys walked into the throne room, and you see it's instantly in there. It's like the wind is whipping up. Your like cloak and hair are like pulling aside. You're having to try to fight against this wind. Everything is just like almost like shockwave blasted out from the center radius of the throne in ice. Everything's like frozen from that point, and then the king is just kind of sitting on it, like with his eyes downcast, and his hair is like this white that like flecks to blue, like icicles are encrusted in it, and he's not even looking at you guys. No, but that'd be a good inspiration for D&D. They actually took a lot of D&D stuff.
Inspiration.
So then, you guys threw me off.
That's the last thing that happened. Was like this big frost thing.
Yeah, so like the king's sitting there, like not even looking at you, and there's this avatar of what looks kind of like an ice golem looking thing that is. It has like not a very detailed etching of what looks like the king into it, like it was like hastily sculpted, and it just seems to have kind of like coalesced from the like ice swirling around him. And that's where you guys last left off.
So are we already in through the doors?
Yeah.
Or are we... I push Eddie forward. I kind of do a whole like hand gesture to get him to start talking.
Hello, Your Highness. We are the traveling band. Quicksalot here to entertain you. Your good friend Childor has invited us to this very day to entertain you. How goes it, good
so
sir?
As you're shouting into the wind, like it's like your cloak and your clothes are like it's just like a blizzard force just blowing by you. Make a Constitution saving throw to see if your words even reach him. Like you're shouting because you're shouting.
No.
So you're just shouting into this wind, and your words are being swept up and just blown away. And he's not looking at you guys.
Oh, shit.
How close can we get without being blown away?
From the looks of it, the wind does get stronger the closer you get to him. But right now, even Silas is not being like thrown out, like up in. It's just like strong wind. It's not like hurricane force, like knocking him away. The ground is slippery, like it is iced over. And you guys would be being cold, but last time Fang had turned himself into a fire snake, and he's kind of like encircling you.
Oh, that's right.
To keep you guys warm.
Okay, I would like to use Mage Hand to see if I can get his attention.
What is it? Can you describe the floor to me, Shane?
So the floor, the throne is kind of like, so it's this big royal courtyard area with the throne kind of like on a dais in front of you. There's like decorative pillars kind of like going across. Looks like there would be art and like plants and everything hung up on the walls, but they were like iced over and frozen, so it's hard to make out details like that.
So it's you said there are pillars, right?
And you are blind though. I forgot you're blind still.
So
sure. Do a perception.
I was just asking about the floor though, but I will make a perception. Where's that?
Shane, real quick.
Yes.
Does the air fryer shut off by itself?
The air fryer?
The air fryer.
Should.
Or do I have to get this stuff out? Okay, so it should be fine in there for a bit.
Okay, well the first one's good. So you're noticing. So you're frigid too. You're like kind of like iced down to the bone. You have a hard time moving. This was actually you had to roll twice disadvantage. Yeah, but
they're both good anyways.
You're looking into like So because you're so freaking cold, you're getting a sense of warmth coming from a direction, and you kind of like look towards it, and you sense a small flicker of heat coming from a direction.
Isn't the heat Fang though? Isn't he still a snake?
It is, yeah. He's still the snake, but I'm saying to where with your perception, I'm trying
something else
to go with your blindness. You would see something otherwise, but yeah, you can kind of direct it out, but you can't see what it is.
Can I ask Silas if he feels this warmth and if he can inform me what it is?
So you kind of like gesture to the direction you are kind of sensing it from. And Silas, as you look towards where he's pointing, there's a small, what would be like a fire hearth, and everything around it has not been iced over. Inside of it, it looks like glowing coals, but they're really just red autumn leaves that are kind of like layered. And the ice around that little area, kind of like a fireplace area, is not reached. It's kind of like reaching like an invisible wall where the ice is not going closer.
That's a fireplace?
Yeah.
It's a fireplace, you said?
It's a fireplace, but inside of it, instead of fire, it's red autumn leaves that are kind of glowing like coals.
So is that the only area then that seems unaffected?
It's the only area in this. Everything else is just like there's paintings on the wall. You can't make details. There's actually still figures of what would be people that are kind of frozen, almost as if they're in the middle of doing something. Like it's like everyday lives. They're just
right, like the
out.
lady with the picture.
Yeah.
Okay. For whatever reason, that area seems to be unaffected by this intense cold. If the rest of you are still rather cold, we could, convene over there and figure out what we're supposed to do with this.
What were you going to do with your mage hand, by the way?
Essentially just kind of wave it in front of his face and see if I could get point to our direction and see if he'll look.
Okay, so
because has he seen us?
He has not even looked at you guys yet.
Okay, yeah, so that's what I'd like to do then. But
but he's directly in front of us, right?
He's far away, kind of like, so he's probably like 100 feet away, like on this throne, kind of like you're in the entrance of this large throne room, and sitting on the throne up ahead, like kind of further down at the back of the hall area is him sitting there.
Okay.
This is something completely unrelated, but I felt the need I had to share this with you guys. So the other day we have a glass top stove and we just got done cooking, and Cosmo jumped up onto the stove.
Stop. Is he okay?
Yeah, he's fine.
His feet didn't get burned at all?
No, actually, his paws were red, but they didn't leave any burn marks on them.
Weird.
But I just remember that, and I felt the need to share.
That's scary, dude.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna do that ever again, though.
I don't think
wait. I forgot to do this
right
last
back.
time.
I'm gonna
the fuck
grab my nuggos. Shane, did you want me to bring you any? Or are you okay for now?
I'm okay for now.
Okay.
What she's back, but I forgot I had music to play last time, which would have totally made the whole scene super cool. But so I got it now.
I think we should move on towards getting near that fireplace.
Okay. I tried talking to him, but he didn't. So the wind is really loud right now. And so, our goal is to make the king happy some ways, somehow. So that he'll send us home, right? He sends us home.
That's why you guys came here.
And we, the reason he's sad is because his daughter's gone. So perhaps we tell him that we'll go find his daughter in exchange for sending us home. Does that sound like a plan?
Can we really?
You sound so sure.
Are you back, Marissa?
I couldn't hear either of you.
I'm just using my phone.
Oh, okay.
But
I said, Colin, you just sound so sure of yourself.
To stay here.
I was mostly just recapping, trying to get an idea of what I'm actually doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So narrating out loud in a way. Oh.
Well, as you guys are kind of like standing, I'm gonna have you roll initiative. I gave you guys your opportunity to figure out what you're doing.
I wanted.
Why didn't you say what about the mage hand thing?
So the mage hand.
Thank you.
Wait, so we're starting combat. Okay.
You can try to get his attention. Let's do a.
We don't have anything.
We have spaghetti sauce.
Yeah, because it is at a distance, so you're just trying to like wave it in front of him.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do an Arcana check. That's just something to see like how, like, because as you're moving the hand through the wind, let's see if you can like push it all the way towards him.
I am going to go to the thing that I mentioned earlier, in front of the fireplace.
Do you mind rolling it for me? Or do you?
I'm here. Remember, you have disadvantage on it, so I'm gonna do a double check.
Disadvantage.
Yeah, you and Elris are exhausted.
Oh, that's right. Oh,
Two
God damn it.
15s.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so I'm going to say that as you guys are like, you get the king's attention, like the hand kind of goes up, and he just kind of like morosely kind of like looks up in your direction, and he's like he sees, like he almost like he's seeing something in passing, like he but doesn't quite register you guys. And then he kind of like goes back, so he's like looking in your direction, and then he kind of like looks back down a little bit.
Can I try to speak to him again? Like, can I try to just walk close enough to where I can hear him and like poke him in the face, be like, "Hello"?
You guys, as
Run.
we're rolling initiative.
Leo,
Okay.
How the hell did I roll so low? It's literally a plus.
Here, I have to clear this list, and then yours is 5.
Wait, that's intellect, not initiative. I'm dumb. Hold on, ignore that roll.
Nope, we got a 5.
Oh my god, give me the 5.
Wow, yeah, where's 5? Yeah, nice. All right.
Alright, so he definitely goes first.
He could roll worse than us.
He did not. He rolled a 12.
Oh.
So as you guys are kind of like inching, like Silas is kind of like having the hand wave in front of the king, and the king kind of like looks up in your direction a little bit, like eyes almost glazed over, kind of like passing over you guys with the barest of recognition. And then as you guys are kind of inching closer to where the heat is emanating from, the figure like made of ice that is in the vague representation of the king starts to advance towards you, and like with every step it takes coming to you, the air gets chiller.
Wait, so the king got up?
King did not get up. He's almost like not even looking at you guys, but there's like something that kind of looks in a vague representation of him created out of ice that is approaching you guys. And how is your positioning? I know Elris was moving towards the fire. Eddie was taking a step forward to speak to the king. I'm going to say that Fang went with Eddie to keep him warm. And we're going to say, where was Silas? Oh, I need to
Elris.
So you two started moving towards the fire.
Yeah.
Roll for Fang really quick.
I apologize if you couldn't hear me. Ow, chewing.
Yeah, same.
So it's not possible for me to like talk anymore because I failed my check. Is that correct?
At the distance you were at, that's like the best of your attempt was to shout to the wind.
You can try it again.
You could that's the thing though. That's the example of the best of your attempt, like to shout.
Right. Okay.
Okay. I was misunderstood.
Like at that distance, kind of thing, to where you just couldn't shout to the wind. Like.
All right, I ready my bow.
So as this thing is a prancing, Fang actually goes first because he rolled a.
Nice.
So and he doesn't do.
He is a fire snake, which I fucking look up fire snake. Fire snake does. So, I think he sees the ice thing coming towards you, and he just approaches it. And I know he gets to. I think he has double attack. So he goes in, like his he tries to make strikes at this advancing kind of figure of ice that's like lumbering towards you. Each step kind of like creating a frost pattern on the ground. And as Fang like coils up and reaches out, it just kind of like bites down, and then it can't seem to get through this, like the icy armor. And that was his turn. So then he's engaged with this thing, and now it's its turn. So it turns, and it looks at it looks at Fang with some attention. I had to write stuff down here.
Attention or intention?
I guess both. Both would work in this. What's it?
Okay.
It's armor class 14. So he rolled a 9 plus 8. So 17. So he looks to the fire snake, and then it just takes one of his like large ice encrusted hands and then brings it down on the snake body, doing.
Oh my god, he's getting bitch slapped.
He's just dead. He just died.
No.
13 damage.
Leo, damn.
Okay.
Upon seeing that happen, Silas is gonna yell out and be like, I cannot afford to get hit, guys, please. I'm so tired.
And then
Leo, I'm about to
He
beat
turns
your
back
ass.
and replies, I can't help you.
so you're
Well,
next
you better
to
make me
Eddie.
a priority.
So he's
I don't know what
smacked
you
the
want me to
snake
do.
kind of aside. The fire snake kind of, and you guys are like shouting through the wind, kind of like your words are kind of like you can hear each other, but they're getting kind of like swept up in this wind. And he turns to Eddie after smacking the snake and does
No.
like points his hand to you, and you feel as all of the cold coalesces around your body. Make a Constitution saving throw.
Shit. I hope that doesn't mess the plan for my turn.
It might.
Excuse me.
So 9. Shoot. You take 17 damage,
Fuck.
and as the ice coalesced
God,
around you, you are now
dude.
frozen in place. All right, that is. And he starts to move. He like, having seen you two, he starts to kind of like step up close, and he goes towards where Elris is, and now he's moving towards Elris. And as he steps away, the snake gets one little opportunity attack. Does actually hit. So as he's like walking, the snake gets like a little strike behind, and as he bites this time, some of the fire melts a little bit around the ice, and the snake comes back with like sizzling, steamy water coming from his mouth, and does I think it was 5 damage to that. All right, so then next is Silas.
I'm gonna cast False Life because I'm not risking this shit.
Okay, so you do false life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually going to say that if you want to burn that before, I'll let you, because like since that takes up a whole action, I'd figure Silas would remember to do that like before a fight was coming,
Yes.
like when you guys were having that opportunity.
Okay.
Yeah, because that burns a
So
whole
do
action.
I just roll a d4 plus 4?
Yeah, so go ahead
Or
and do
do
that.
I still have to roll a 20?
I don't think you have to roll a 20.
Okay.
I don't think it.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I don't
but
think it can mess
I
up.
just- Okay. Plus 4, 8 points, baby.
Okay. So Fang, Elemental, Silas, Eddie.
Sorry.
Okay, and
Sometimes it doesn't catch my sniffles, but it'll catch my fucking burp. Are you kidding me?
Well, yeah, burps are powerful.
so you have one more action because I'm going to say that you did that before
Okay.
the fight.
I would like to use a help action. Or, because I can't dodge, right? I can't use a dodge action if he's not
Help my
actively trying to hit me.
Constitution save throw.
You can dodge. So dodging would be dodge is just you're ready, and if anything tries to come at you, you're like.
Well, then, yeah, I'm going to prepare a dodge action because, like,
Be
like I said,
proactive, not
Yeah.
reactive.
Okay, so that's your turn.
I'm so small. Eddie.
You can also, so you can move though if you wanted to, like, because the positioning, I might have to move to a new map thing here. So it's moving
Yeah, I want to
past.
see where we are.
Okay, I don't have a pre-done map, so I'm just gonna go back to this white page. Let's see, move you guys here. Okay, this is where my art skills. Everything is blue because it's icy. So this is the courtroom. Beautiful, right? The throne is at the very end. You guys had walked in here, so this is where you guys were. There's like a little fireplace here where you felt the warmth coming from. Yellow is the worst color for this.
Still see it.
Yeah, so 2 of you had gone over, so this is where, if you guys want to put your characters here, you can move them around. But 2 of you were here, as Eddie took his step forward here, and Fang was with him. The king is on the throne here.
Our characters aren't on here anymore, Shane.
Yeah, so you can just reapply them there.
Yourself up.
How?
You just drag it.
Go to the, yeah.
Yeah, on the 3rd tab, on the top right, you can find a list of all the characters. You just click yourself and drag it in there.
3rd tab is an I.
2nd tab.
Okay, I guess I have an extra tab.
Yeah, even that I can't. Like, if I try to drag and drop, it just highlights everything.
Wait, I'll just do it for you. So Silas there.
Yeah, I
Thank
can't.
So you guys can move
I
your
can't get
position
it.
here.
I can't get it either.
Weird.
Okay. So the fire. Where did we come in at?
So you came in, this was the entranceway.
Okay.
And that elf girl's still actually back here. Hasn't moved
Elf
yet.
girl? Oh, yeah,
The one
yeah.
that led you here. Yeah, so this is just what we're gonna kind of do here. And then
This is the ice thing.
yeah, the positioning of this room. So there's lots of everything is kind of encrusted over, but there's like furniture, like tables, stuff like that, kind of like around in areas. Let me find a marker here. A darker one. There are pillars. So there's like 4 pillars kind of here. So the ice creature has. Let me see if I can just grab. We're gonna use Barska. Barska's the ice creature. So he was here and he stepped forward and he smacked Fang here and then reached and then did like a encasing ice on Eddie and it started to move towards this direction. And then Fang did a strike as he like left his range. So he's moving towards the fireplace here. So that's the positioning.
Okay.
And the ground is slippery, so like sprinting is hard. You like you can tell you might lose your footing. In order to walk carefully, it just takes half speed to like move that.
Okay. Can I prepare that dodge action and then take a movement, or is that the same thing?
You can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Help me.
I want to prepare the dodge action then and start making my way slowly to the king.
Okay, so you're gonna go around like the pillar to the other side, around the pillar, around away from the ice guy.
Yeah, I want to take like this direction.
Okay.
Like around these things.
Okay.
Like using these things as cover. Hopefully.
Okay, so you take the dodge
Before
action.
I go that way though,
yeah,
I'm gonna shout to Eddie and Elris. This ice thing seems to be an extension of the king himself. Maybe it's still worth trying to talk to him. And then I'm going to take off running.
Okay, so as you take off running, so are you running or
cover me?
Because if you try to move full speed, you feel like you're losing some footing, so you have to kind of do that, like
even with
walking
claws.
on ice.
Eddie replies
I'll give you
with nothing and
advantage
remains frozen.
with claws.
Yeah, I want to say like this is super similar to the weather generally that red pandas are in, so I feel like he's kind of okay with it.
Okay, I'll give you.
If you want us,
I'll give you movement with like as you're walking close. As you move closer, I'd say that you're able to make it. Let's see, because this is not to scale. I haven't counted out the blocks and all that. But your movement's like 30, so moving normal speed, you get to kind of like this area around the pillar.
Okay.
Now it's Eddie's action. You are encased in ice, so you're not able to make other actions. You can try to break it. And the ice is like encasing over, kind of like slowly growing over your mouth.
My favorite action. I would like to try to break it.
Okay, you do a strength saving throw. Oh shit! So you're able to kind of like you're kind of like moving, you're pushing, kind of straining, cracking the ice as it's kind of like encrusting around you. But it's not just like a pillar kind of going on you. It's like all over your body, just like a thin film encasing you. So you're like moving your arm and like crackling it off of yourself, and you're able to move. So yeah,
Okay.
you get your. I'll say that you. I'll say you get your turn here. The ice is still encasing over you, but you cracked it enough to get your turn.
Okay. I cast invisibility.
Okay.
Shane, have you been using the timer?
No, I don't think
Okay.
things have taken that long yet.
Just curious. I didn't know if you were going to.
We're also, since we're only 3 of us, I feel like we don't.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I
As
cast invisibility and make my way towards the king.
Nice.
Okay. So as you are moving as well, how do you move? Are you moving full speed or half speed?
If I slip, do I break invisibility?
No, it says unless you attack or cast a spell. But I'm saying like
I'm just sprinting, dude. I just want to get there.
Okay.
So 30,
okay,
30.
make
How
a.
far away is he? How far away is he?
I said that he was like 100 feet down, so I'd say he was like 100 feet down the hallway area.
Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna go full speed.
Okay, do a dexterity saving throw as you start to try to like move yourself quickly.
Come on, Dex, don't fail me now.
Nice.
Alright.
Oh, baby.
So even with the ice kind of like
Leia.
forming over your fingers and your hair, like it's like you know when there's a freezing storm and like rain gets frozen and it just has everything
Leia.
encased in that ice. It looks super cool. That's what was happening to you. So you're like even every individual strand of hair was getting encased in ice, and you're able to kind of like yeah, it's super cool, isn't it? So you're able to kind of like force yourself kind of like through the cracking of the ice, like. And you're sprinting, and you kind of like stumble a bit, but right yourself. And I'd say with that, you're able to keep pace with Silas over this direction.
Okay.
And then
all right, so we're making our way there.
Elris's turn.
I'm going to take the tree staff and stamp it into the ground.
Ooh.
Okay.
Do I need to be any kind of like strength check or something because it's frozen solid?
It's not frozen solid in the area you're at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you're at right next to the fireplace area. So yeah, you
That's
take that staff and just kind of like boom, place it in the ground, and its roots even grow through the cobblestones that are warmed there, and then it starts to just take root there. And
I must see how many key points I have.
you also remember you have 2 stacks of exhaustion, so you have disadvantage on ability checks, and your movement is halved.
I can't move at all then.
You can move still, but it's just
It's probably better for me to not. He would just catch up to me quicker.
yeah, because your movement is 20 feet right now, and also then moving fast on this icy terrain. So yeah, like 10 feet of normal movement or 20 feet of risky movement.
Yeah. I'm just gonna stay here and ready my dodge with my staff in the ground.
All right, you have to burn a key point to ready dodge because you did your action to place the staff.
Oh, do I?
Because for patient defense,
I wasn't gonna use patient defense. I was gonna ready my dodge.
your
Like a
action was to
normal-
place the staff. It takes an action to plant it.
That's a full action. To
Full
do
action to
that?
plant it. Yeah, to use the magic item.
Yeah. Then I'll just burn a key point and use patient defense here.
So he
Where
just
the hell is
kind of
it?
like slams the staff in there, and then he just kind of like forces through the exhaustion and tiredness and the frozen deep to his bones, and he like faces this oncoming monster. And at the top of the round, so at the very start of initiative, the wind closer to the king is just a swirling, like the eye of the storm wall. As you guys are getting closer, it gets colder and colder. So with both of you at this middle point of coldness,
Excuse me.
you take 5 cold damage, both Silas and Eddie, as you're moving closer to the king.
Okay.
And you can tell as you're getting closer, like the temperature is sharply decreasing the closer and closer you get. I think Silas, you'll take half of that because of resistance to cold.
Do I take half of 5?
Round it down, so it's 2.
Okay.
Let me see if damage is rounded down or up.
How do I like?
Alright.
what's my perception of like how alive Silas looks right now? Like, can she keep going? Like, from where I look at her, because like I'm not supposed to know her health.
Hey.
Right? Does she look okay? Like, or does she like
Hey.
desperately need help?
Ask me.
What?
Yeah, you guys can.
You could.
Yeah, I'll
ask
say you
me.
guys can shout.
I think
as
we're
you're kind
close
of,
enough
you're
where you
close
could
enough.
just like turn
You're like
over
shouting
and be
over
like,
the
hey.
wind.
Silas,
What?
are you okay?
I'm fine.
Okay, I'm not looking too good. Thanks for asking.
All right, so
Can't do anything about that.
Okay.
so Fang makes a look. He like looks towards you guys, kind of
Hi,
fighting for
Cosmo.
the cold, and then he makes a look towards Elris. And I'll just 50-50 you guys. So he sees that that you guys are trying to fight your way through the wind, and he goes towards you guys. So he snakes his way past here, and he moves his way to Eddie. Eddie, you start to feel like a warmth kind of enveloping you as the fire snake gets closer to you, and that was his action there. And then
Shane, real
yeah.
quick. Oh wait, is that Fang or that's the ice guy?
That's Fang. The ice guy looks like the Barska. I just don't have an icon for the ice guy.
So say the next round comes, then does the dodge not do anything?
No,
Does that
it's just
go
one
away?
round. Yeah, it's one round.
Okay,
You're just
okay.
anticipating getting hit. And
Okay.
yeah.
Gotcha.
So at his turn, the elemental moves towards Silas, and he
To me?
or
Elris?
Elris. And as he gets closer, he starts to kind of like taking steps towards the fire. You can tell that the solid crystalline structure starts to glisten a bit as the warmth of the hearth there diminishes him a little bit. So he makes an attack, and he attacks with disadvantage as he gets closer to the heat source. His disadvantage roll was a 1. But he has multi-attack, bitches! Oh, wait, it was a 7. What's your AC? Because 7 plus...
Jesus Christ, he does 15.
My AC is 17.
17? Okay, you're lucky, because it's 7 plus 8. He is plus 8 on his attacks. So as he comes in there, and he has extra disadvantage because of your patient defense, which is subtracting from his rolls -2, in addition to the disadvantage. So you're able to, as like you see the fists coming down, you don't see him. You hear kind of like the crunching and like the weird sound of like crystal on ice, and then the snapping as it's getting closer. And as a fist comes towards you, you're able to just like whip your arm around, and you can't force it away, it's too big, but you're able to use its momentum to shift yourself. And then as the next one comes in, you jump over it. And then you land on the ice and like slip a little bit, like as the ice turns to water as you're in your area, and you're able to stay there. And now it's like just facing you there. Silas, your action. So you're looking at Eddie as a fire snake. So it's a little to your right, the safety of the fire snake swarm.
Okay.
And then the direction you're heading there is just cold and alone. So you can your choice.
I'm gonna beat your ass.
I will. If it makes you feel better, Kyle, we cannot hear him at all. I don't.
Yeah, I have no idea what it is.
But like no, there's a box behind me and it's full of paper, and like every couple of minutes, I just hear him just leaping into it, and it just scares me.
So I think I will move a little bit closer then to the fire snake, Shane. But then I'd like to take. Let's see. I'd like to go ahead and shoot an arrow with my alchemist fire vial.
Where?
To the ice creature next to Elris.
Okay, so you shoot it first and then you move. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So do your attack roll there.
Give me 1 second. Oh, I was adjusting the weight. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that I took it out so that I don't think I got one. Make my action, you said?
Yeah, it's an attack roll.
Attack.
With your bow, because you're like throwing it with that, but
Not the steady shot, right?
no, just like a normal.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, let's go. Oh, plus the alchemist fire, though.
Yeah, so the alchemist fire.
It's a 1d4.
But I would say to have like that. We'll retcon it for now, but I'm going to say for future reference, if you're going to make special arrows and stuff, let me know, like, or else it would like take actions and all that to like put it together here.
Oh, I thought
But
it
we'll-
would just be like a bonus to put it on my bow and then throw it.
I think we
Shoot it.
talked before about having your crossbow making a custom like grenade launcher for your potions, but
Yeah. Do you want me to not do the 1d4 then?
No, we're gonna do the 1v4 here. But I feel like just let me know if you make special ammo like that, because I feel like it would take time to like put it together. in a
Okay.
way It's not just crazy. So as you fire arrow and it
Okay.
pierces, so it pierces in, like as the vial crashes against the like icy
Ooh, max damage.
shoulder. So it pierces in the icy shoulder of this the ice creature. Like the vial smashes, and then the arrow hits the alchemist's fire, catches a light, pushes forward, and there's and it just and now the shoulder of like the ice itself starts to catch fire. Like the fire glows a kind of hot blue, and it seems to spread over stuff that is not normally flammable. And now this ice creature starts to spread over him. He takes 4 damage in addition to the 7, so it takes 11 on that. And then you move closer to the king, you said. Or you move closer to Eddie.
Closer to Eddie and
Okay.
Fang.
So I'd say you're able to kind of... move that. So you're able to move. But to maintain the warmth, you could move ahead, but you're like right there.
Okay.
Okay, and then Eddie, it's your action, but I'm actually going to mess with... this boss guy has what's called legendary actions. He gets to take actions on your guys' fucking turn.
Okay.
So he turns to look at Silas as Silas is moving, and he picks up like as the fire is moving, he like whips his arm around towards Silas, and a portion of the ice detaches and flies towards him.
Oh, what the fuck?
And then so I got ace 17 plus 8. That hits.
You're kidding me. That's the damage?
No, that's not the damage. That's the hit.
Oh my god. Oh god, I was gonna be like, I'm
Okay.
outside.
The damage.
I basically got hit for 22.
Stop.
Yeah.
What is the damage? Stop.
The damage, I rolled a 1, so you're super lucky. So it's
God bless.
1d12 plus 5.
There's just no way.
So it hits you for 6. So as you're able to duck, like you turn and you're moving, and you just feel this solid like boom, and then you're able to shrug it off a little bit from your like
There goes my 10
extra
hit points.
constitution,
I'm back
yeah.
to just regular.
And you kind of like slide a bit and swim, like move around, and then you just keep in your direction. Yeah, so that was one of his legendary actions. I need a little marker to make sure.
Is that every turn they have the legendary action?
So legendary actions is he has a certain amount per round, and he can use them in between your turns until he uses them up.
Anytime he can use them?
Yeah, pretty much
fuck are
anytime.
you doing,
He can
Kyle?
interrupt your guys'... It's like an instant. He has like instant speed turns that he can take after your
All right,
guys' turn.
That's now you're speaking my language. I'm feeding a tarantula. That's what I'm doing.
Oh my god.
All right, Eddie, your action.
I'm still listening, just because this doesn't require all my concentration.
And because the arrow... So you're Eddie, you're now released because the spell he was using was concentration.
Wait, what did you say?
Actually, I need to check really quick. Okay, so this is another thing I'm trying to like get a hold of. We've never done it before, but it's a thing. Is when there's certain spells that require concentration, they're continuous until they break concentration by doing another spell that requires concentration, taking damage, or something else that might break concentration. So when Silas shot this arrow at the ice elemental, he had to do a concentration check to see if he could continue that icy thing he was doing to you. He failed it, so now you can feel as like the constricting ice growing over every bit of you starts to like lessen because it broke his concentration. So his spell was basically canceled. So Eddie, you have your full turn.
Okay. I want to yell to Silas to try to keep this guy distracted as long as you can. Like, you don't have to kill him, but try to live and keep him off of us. And then
I think you mean Elris, because
Yeah.
sorry, I meant Elris. You guys' names are so similar that I mix them up every single game. So
It was intentional.
Okay, and then I want to try to keep moving forward to the king.
Okay. At what speed?
Max speed.
Hi, Cosmo.
All right. Do your dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
I gotta turn off big speed, that bitch. So as you take your step to go, you slip and you fall prone where you're at.
I'm prone. Can I still do anything?
You can do an action, but you're pretty much fell on your ass. And you're prone for the turn, so yeah.
Okay. How far away am I from the king?
Let's see. With your full movement was 30. I know it's not visually representation here, but you did a full movement there. It was about 100 feet away, so I'd say he's 70.
70?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. How far away am I from the beast? Oh, okay. I want to do vicious mockery on the beast.
Okay. Yeah, it's okay. I'd say that happens.
Okay. I have no clever insult IRL. So then I will. 1 second. Okay, so 3 psychic. He's got to beat.
He fails his wisdom saving throw,
Nice.
so he takes the 3 psychic there.
Okay.
All right. And then it goes to Elris.
How's that tree looking?
The tree, so it actually takes the
takes 2
color
turns, right?
of the fire, like the fiery autumn leaves, kind of influence its color. It doesn't have the heat, but as the tree sprouts, it has an autumn look to it, and the tree just kind of like just starts to grow extremely quickly. Like it's like the tree was growing the whole time, but it was just like now it coalesces and finishes into its full tree form, and it's like a 15-foot tree just like in that area now where you're at.
Second, who has that staff?
It was you, but you dropped it to Elris.
Okay, I was gonna say. Okay, right. That's right. Okay. I was like,
Yeah,
I
you
should
dropped it to me
have
to use.
that. Okay, yeah.
And then
that's
I just kept it on my person.
Okay.
So is the
tree can
is
provide
this
cover,
apparition
but it's not able to take actions yet.
Okay.
That's another fun
But
thing.
is it like fully grown or whatever?
It's a full tree. Quick thing for you guys too is we have more tactical stuff. Is creatures can take, you guys too can take cover behind things, and depending like if there's something you're like a table you're kind of like standing behind, just like a turned over table, that gives you 2 to your armor class. And if you're able to find something like that covers your full body, then like for the most part, it's 3/4 cover, which can give +5. So you can get up to 5 bonus armor class depending on the kind of cover you take. I'm trying to get more tactical because we're all learning the rules, so I'm trying to run monsters like this too. But that's I think like the more advanced level stuff to where.
I think we just haven't been using like the help dodge and all that.
Well, I'm trying to level up my
really
game, so you guys are going to need to. So I'm going to try to like get more tactical. So.
Rude.
Was this monster apparition facing me? Because I remember
he's facing
threw
you,
something at Silas. Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah,
if
well,
it
like turn to
turned back
throw, but I'd say that I'd say like in that time though, actually, because everything happens pretty quickly. No, he's not facing you because he did turn to throw.
Now, you said this was like a legendary creature or whatever. I can still like inflict. I don't really know what the proper term is, but I'm trying to use it. If I hit him with open hand and he fails a strength save, he'll still be pushed 15 feet, right? Or because he's so big, will it not?
I'd say that he could still be
kind of like
pushed.
mitigate a little bit.
There are stuff like legendary resistances, damage resistances, immunities, and all that. Like this guy can't be.
Okay.
He could be pushed, but there's a lot of things that can't happen to him.
Okay, so I have 3 options. Well, only 2, I guess. Can he be knocked prone?
You could try.
But like, he has that, like, he's able to be knocked prone.
I'd say he could potentially be knocked prone. I'm not supposed to give
Okay.
you guys direct information like that. I think it would be an insight. Future reference stuff is I'll allow special bonus actions when it's like perception or insight, when it's just like trying to like look over and get an idea. But I might just not give you guys direct information right from like the stat blocks.
I'm going to burn my last key point and hit him with my staff and open hand.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Betsy beats him.
Flurry of blows, that would be 2 strikes for melee, right?
Be 2 strikes of melee.
Right? Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I dig this music, Shane.
So one of your strikes, as you hit it, it's just like you're punching a solid wall. Like as you palm strike it, it just like you don't even get through it. Like your first one, it's just like recoils off of hitting something super solid. You kind of like shake your hand a bit, and as you come for your second attack, you hit the exact same spot, and then you punch that one again, or you hit it with your staff at the exact same spot you hit, and it cracks a little bit, and then you try to hit the exact same spot with your other one, and you can tell as it like the crack widens a bit, and it feels like you're punching fucking stone because he takes half damage from bludgeoning. But
Oh, shit.
your staff is magical though, right?
it has
It's
to
glass
make-
staff.
My staff is, yeah.
Yeah, so it
It has to
actually
make a strength save or it's pushed 15 feet.
16.
15. I
I don't know the DC of your thing. I think it's a DC probably based on your dexterity or something. So probably a 10 plus your dexterity right now.
So he passed, yeah, definitely.
All right, so he takes 11 damage from that.
me.
And now it's
And that's all my. I think that's actually all I can do.
okay.
Can
He uses
I use?
Yeah.
No, can I use my? I'll use my bonus action. Never mind.
he uses his legendary action as he turns as you're like making strikes on him. He turns to look towards you and he just brings one of his giant fists over, crashing towards your direction. And he has from Vicious Mockery his disadvantage. The patient defense ran out.
Mhm.
Oh fuck. Okay, he rolled really low there. So he just crashes next to your able. So as you see it coming, like you're able to just kind of like slide out of the way, and your feet skid a little bit, but you make it look cool as you like swing your feet around, and it crashes next and just splinters the ground, and shards of ice fly up. And now we flip back to the top of the round. Okay, so you guys there. The fire snake keeps you warm as the cold just sweeps through, and then it kind of like breaks on. I imagine the snake's kind of coiling around you guys, forming like a bit of a barrier. So you resist no cold damage or exhaustion because of that. And the ice elemental, as it like smashes down and it's seeing that it doesn't like, it like looks over and sees you guys getting closer, and it explodes. It just like explodes out, and all of the thick ice shards are now this tiny little crystalline area, and it changes form into this swirling blizzard, and it starts to move towards you guys. As it moves away from Elris, you get a opportunity attack.
It's just. Can I use my two-handed staff, or is this a melee strike?
I think you can two-hand it.
Okay. There's no way.
So as you like swing through it, it's like you're just like
no.
trying to smack the wind. You just kind of like through it, and it just swirls around your thing. And then it's actually crazy because some parts of it are still catching fire, like spreading this weird bluish green fire throughout it. And it swirls, and then it starts to form like kind of like a swirling tornado that's like coming through, and it goes around this pillar, and it's coming towards you guys up there. And Fang's action. So as the thing's approaching it, he kind of stops his advancement to there, and he looks to you guys really quick, and just kind of like, he doesn't speak to you guys because he can't, but you get the sense that he's kind of like looks between you, and it's at like you can get the sense that he's asking, should he keep you guys warm and follow you, or should he stay back and try to fight this thing?
Do I have any? Okay, from Eddie's perception, like because I can feel if I leave Fang, do I feel like it will hurt me the cold?
You would guess that each initiative count 20, so at the top of every round, you guys took damage last time from the cold, and you feel like it's getting colder the closer you get. So you won't take instant damage, but you get the sense that the next round that comes around, you're subject to the cold again.
Okay, I think he needs to come with us if we want to try and wake the king up.
All right, so he kind of nods and keeps with you.
I think Elris is.
Do we need all of us to go?
So he starts to move this direction, and he gives the help.
Then you and Fang go back to Elris, help with the blizzard. I'll go towards the king.
Wait, why?
I'm more equipped to deal with this.
I'm invisible, and I have the highest persuasion.
I mean, I'm just saying because by the time you get there, you'll freeze.
But not if I have to
Fang does not go with. But then Elris is screwed.
Right, so if you go...
Yeah, I can't... I'm with my exhaustion, I can't...
I am also exhausted.
I'll do too much.
So we all just go fight this thing then?
No,
I think it's worth
Marissa's
it to just
trying to
have me
that...
go and you help with this blizzard. The only reason I say is I'm exhausted. I'm not very good as far as, dealing damage goes. And I have exhaustion.
Okay, I mean, I'm down to, but I just feel like I wasted my invisibility spell, and I also feel like I'm the best character for dealing with the king.
But I'm not talking as far as character, what stats goes. I'm just, if this is me in the battlefield right now, that's what I think would be the best plan.
Wait.
It's a roleplay decision, not like a.
Yes, I'm not.
Decision.
I'm not thinking. Outside metagaming. I'm saying this is Silas thinks this is.
So as Silas says that, I'm going to start a 30-second timer for you guys to decide what you do here.
Okay. I just want to say the exact opposite. Because I burned my last spell slot to become invisible to help get closer to the king, and get away from that thing. And then I have the highest persuasion, so I would be able to wake the king up, and I can cast command on him to make him notice me. So
I think we already told Fang to stay anyways, so.
I just think definitively I am the best out of the group for dealing with the king. And then if I went back to go fight the thing, I would feel like I wasted my last spell slot.
Okay, so I'd say that it looks like both of you are moving towards the king. Fang tries to stay behind, and he makes a circle here. He gives the help action to Eddie. He kind of burns. He kind of quickly sweeps his tail and tries to clear the ground because Eddie's still prone. So he clears a bit of the ground to give it starts to refreeze very quickly, but a bit of the ground is burned through and visible, so it's a non-slippery surface to stand on. And then he takes the step backwards and then faces the blizzard as it's coming towards you guys.
Okay.
And then it's turn. So the blizzard now has changed. So it sweeps through and engulfs you. So you watch as Fang just disappears in the swirling ice. And some of those parts are still blue-green on fire from the alchemist fire. And it just, speaking of which, he takes 3 doubling to 6 because it's fire. Takes 6 fire damage. And now you can see as Fang is just engulfed. You can no longer see. You see a brief glow from inside, but you can't see him anymore as he's engulfed by this blizzard. And
excuse me.
Who is
Fang?
Oh, okay.
And Fang, the guy takes damage from contact with Fang because Fang's on fire. So that's an additional 4 damage. And now it's swirling around Fang. You guys can't see him. And it's Silas's action. Oh, he needs to recharge something.
Uh, I don't have any spells.
Do you have any potions you can think of?
I do, but it's an elixir of bonus. So it just adds 5 to like a attacker saving throw. I'm sorry, it adds 1d4 to an attacker saving throw. But other than that, no.
Okay.
You don't have any spell slots?
No, I used the last one to do false life.
Okay.
Are you going towards the king again?
Yes.
I'd say that potion is it lasts a while, doesn't it? Lasts a full minute.
Does it?
I think it does.
I did not add any sort of like time to that. All I wrote for that was bonus roll 1d4 add to attacker saving.
I'm supposed to be doing timers for you, but I need for this one we're going to say it does last longer. So go ahead and make a decision, and I'm going to reach up.
Yeah, I'll use that.
Do you have
you're going
clothes for yourself?
to take
Like warm clothes?
Or
I do, but I don't necessarily need them.
Oh, okay. No, I was just curious.
Okay, so for the sake of what happened earlier,
are you going to take the potion yourself, or are you going to give it to Eddie?
No, I'm going to take it myself. But I am going to grumble and toss my cloak to Eddie. If you insist on venturing forward, then take this. You'll need it much more than I will.
Okay. I'd say tossing the cloak so you're able to down both the potion as a bonus action and then toss the cloak as your action, which will say is the help. So you're using the help action to Eddie on his next saving throw.
And then
against the
I'd
cold.
like to start going ahead forward.
Okay, so you start
closer
moving
to the king.
and you're able to move your full thing. And you actually, so I think you forgot your racial ability. You have that thing, because we based it off the Tabaxi, where you can move double your movement speed in one turn, and then it recharges if you move 0 the next turn.
I don't think I have that anywhere.
Yeah, let me check here.
Oh, agility. Your reflexes and agility allow you to move with a burst of speed. When you move on your turn in combat, you can double your speed until the end of turn. Once you use that trait, you can't use it again until you move 0 feet on one of your turns.
So you can, at any turn, get double, and then you don't have to choose to move 0 the next turn. It's just, once you move 0, it recharges. So if you stand still a whole turn.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. I should have used that.
Yeah, I was thinking, like,
the
Silas is
beginning.
supposed to be mobile as shit. Like,
Yeah, I forgot.
all right, so you move.
Well, it won't do me any good to use it now, though, right?
It would move you double speed to the king. King is 70 feet away.
Right, but I thought you were going to say that I was already next to the king.
No, he was 70 feet away from your location here.
Currently?
Yeah, because you guys had moved up that
Okay,
way.
then yeah, I'll go ahead and do that.
Okay, so you kind of like get yourself that running start. You're able to move with your claws kind of like digging into the ice. You get right up next to the king, about 10 feet away. And I think that was your action because you took the potion and then helped Eddie.
Yeah. Can I say something now that I'm that close?
I'd say no.
No. Okay.
Because you did action bonus action. So we're going to go to Eddie. So you currently have the patch of ground in front of you. You're prone, so it would take 15 feet of your movement speed to get back up. But the patch in front of you is melted, so you're able to move on it normally. And then you have advantage on your next cold saving throw.
Oh, I do. Okay. I'm really confused at our game plan. I guess I'm going to Vicious Mockery again.
Okay. No, it fails.
Wait, what did you? I fail or he failed?
He failed.
Okay. Okay, so that should help Silas and Fang, and then I guess I'm going to run towards the king. Or Elris, in fact.
All right, so you're able to get up. So you take 15 feet to get up from your prone, and then you're able to move normally the rest of your movement speed. So you're not able to get quite as close to Silas. You're moving kind of trailing behind, kind of like pulling the cloak. Funnily enough, the cloak is not invisible. So you're kind of like wearing this, just this cloak is flapping through, like...
Wait, I put it underneath my cloak of stealth.
Interesting. Okay, I will... I'm not sure how that works.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a cloak of stealth.
Nice.
So I'm not sure how that works normally, but that sounds interesting. So you stuff it underneath there. So as your cloak is kind of whipping in the wind, there's brief glimpses of it underneath, but it kind of like keeps it mostly obscured to anyone who's not like looking out for it. And it's actually good that you Vicious Mockery, because as you move away, the blizzard kind of like shrinks in, and then as it comes back out, like you can see briefly a glimpse of Fang, and a bolt of ice comes towards you with disadvantage on the attack. God,
Wait, me?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's actually extra disadvantage because you're invisible. So triple disadvantage, he fails it. Fuck. He rolled a 1 on that. The way advantage and disadvantage stacking happen, quick little side note, is it doesn't in normal game. Like you can't advantage or disadvantage stack. But I'm trying a homebrew where it does. So in addition to the rolling 2d20 take the lowest, advantage stacking, each instance of advantage beyond the extra d20 is +2, and then -2 for disadvantage. So if you guys can stack like a super advantage for one action, you can have massive bonuses to it.
Okay.
So as you, this like whirling...
Wait, can you explain that one more time? How does that work?
Normally, with advantage and disadvantage, you got your normal roll, and then advantage, disadvantage. Right. Normally they don't stack. Like according to the rules, no stacking is allowed. But there's a lot of homebrew, a lot of like back and forth. I think it's more fun if it does stack, but instead of like trying to take like 3 or 4 d20s and rolling them all, it's just everything beyond the extra dice for advantage or disadvantage is +or -2. So like if you stack an extra thing of advantage to someone, they do roll 2 d20s, and whatever the roll gets, it's an additional 2.
But why would somebody get additional advantage on top of it?
So like, so let's say someone used the help action, and then someone attacks from stealth, and then someone...
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, so there's plenty of things that can give those.
Right.
Yeah. I'm also trying something with... we'll talk about that later. So this ice ball kind of like flies by Eddie, but it's just this brief little flicker of the cloak as it's going, and it actually zooms by and crashes. Like he was aiming for Elris, but it will like whiz by. Right? He's aiming for Silas, but the ice ball like whizzed by Eddie, and he just sees it like when it crashes into the pillar, shattering off a chunk of it. And now it's Elris. So the tree just actually like as like you're sitting there, you hear this like groaning sound as a root comes up and slams on the ice, and the other one comes up and slams. Now there's a tree just standing there, kind of like moving.
I'm going to climb up my tree buddy, because I'm sure he's faster than I am and can provide me some sort of protection.
He's pretty darn slow, but I think he might be faster than you. So he has like kind of like reddish autumn leaf color, and as he gets up, it starts to encrust over with a little bit of ice. But as you climb up him, he's easily able to like hold you. And his roots are thick and deep, and as they hit the ice, they kind of like land and then encrust a little bit. So he starts to move you like kind of like carrying away. And as you step away from the fire, you can feel as the cold kind of like the cold whips away all the heat as you're moving closer to where are you moving?
So is this thing like just a huge storm now, or is there like a
whole place
sort of like an episode?
The whole place was like kind of like, think of like an icy hurricane with the king being the eye of the storm, and then the ice elemental turned into its own like tornado of ice. So there's like a big ice storm and then a smaller concentrated one where it's a bunch of ice shards swirling around.
Is there some sort of like, so is he completely shards of like ice, or is there some sort of epicenter to it?
Do a perception check.
Okay.
Man, it's so hard with you being blind. I don't know if I should just tell you no or try to explain around it. Okay, you were pretty good there. I'll say that you hear a musical sound of the ice kind of like clinking and swirling. It's almost like a melody. And in the center, there's almost a dull, percussive sound that doesn't sound like the other ice shards.
Okay. I'm going to instruct my tree buddy towards the sound that I hear.
Okay, you speak Sylvan to it because that's what it knows, and then so it starts to like lumber its way.
Yeah.
And I'd say it gets, with the 20 feet there. So I'd say it gets close enough to where the guy is, and you try to have it aim towards the center. So as it comes in, you start to feel this like winter wind like whipping around you, and the tree makes a bludgeon attack.
Also, is this the same tree every time, or is it like just some sort of or a different sentient tree?
You could ask him later and find out.
Okay.
So
I didn't.
9 plus 6, 15. That actually hits.
I caught him.
All right. Check this fucker out. He's beefy.
Yeah, meow meow.
Let's see. 4, 8, 9. 9 plus 4. So he kind of like swings in for 13, kind of like just shattering a bunch of the ice crystals. He doesn't hit the center, and the guy has resistance to bludgeoning as he's kind of like sweeping through, just kind of like smashing a lot of the crystals into powder. So it's 13 minus 6. And you're close enough, actually. I'd say you can hit too, because you're carried by the tree in this direction.
This tree is carrying.
Glass staff.
It's a huge tree, so it's like 20 feet tall. Like, okay, so I'd say you're aiming for the center, so you kind of hear it, kind of like the sound of the tree arm smashing through creates a clinking, shattering, powdery sound as it comes through, and you aim for where you hear the sound is different, and then smack through for 6 with your magical staff. 15. And it gets one of its actions. So it does not have... So it just condenses itself next to all of you guys. And because it tries to do this on Fang, it takes 6 full damage, so that's 12. And each one of you takes... Let's see... So you, the tree, and Fang all take 10 ice damage as it just kind of swirls around you guys.
Do I get any sort of mitigation towards that because I'm in the tree?
No, the whole thing is just engulfed. Like, the tree could potentially provide cover, but it's not a targeted attack. It's just everything in the area gets super cold. And now it's the top of the round. So you two up there, having Fang leave behind, make Constitution saving throws with advantage.
Okay.
Silas and Eddie.
Why did you roll twice?
Advantage.
You do it too, Silas.
Right. Okay, sorry, I was writing notes.
So I got 14.
Where the hell is Constitution? Oh, okay. Did I just nat 20?
You nat 20 to one of them. Oh no, I think.
It was
Did
an
you?
18.
Yeah. 18
Oh no,
plus
it was
2.
an 18.
Yeah.
I didn't
So,
see that I actually have
Barely
those.
just under it, Eddie. So you, as the cold kind of
What?
comes through, it's 15.
Don't tell us that.
Yeah, but you guys figure it out. Like that's
Yeah,
that's a
no, if
general
you said
number.
just barely under it, then.
All right, so let's see. So Eddie, you take 4 cold. Silas, you resist it, but you get a stack of exhaustion, Eddie, as you're getting closer to this.
Okay.
Damn, now we're all exhausted.
Yeah, as the wind just kind of, just like as it kind of like now as you're getting closer, like it's harder to even like each inhale, the ice is like chilling the inside of your lungs, like the cloak is everything just like whipping deeply in the wind. All your clothes are like horizontal, flapping like flags as you're getting like closer to this area, kind of like powering through. and it's Fang's turn. So Fang sees you on the tree, like as the blizzard kind of the creature expands. Now you can see Fang and see each other, and it goes in towards. And it just is lashing. Fang is lashing out wildly with its with a fiery tail and just trying to ignite. Only one of them hits. It deals 1d4. So 4, but bonus damage because it's fire. And then it's yeah, he's just kind of Fang's lashing out wildly, kind of like this fire. So now it's the elemental's turn, and it gets to see if it recharges. No, it doesn't recharge. And now it's it tries to do that ice attack to where it condenses, and then all of it shrinks together into one tight bundle, and then a piece of ice shard flies out. And it flies at you, Elris, but being in the tree, it kind of goes by you. It hits the tree, dealing 14 damage to that poor tree.
Poor tree.
How much damage did it take before from the ice?
10.
You guys all took 10, right?
Is our tree dead?
No, he's actually looking pretty
I'd
sturdy.
be surprised. Like I said, if that tree only had 24 or less
Yeah.
HP, I'd be surprised.
And so the elemental starts to swirl away, and kind of the blizzard starts to move towards you guys up top. And as it's pulling away, I'd say that you guys kind of there don't get an opportunity attack because it's just a blizzard. But as it's pulling through you, it's almost as if there's resistance as it's pulling at you guys. So it isn't able to move quite so fast. So it gets behind, and Eddie, you can kind of feel almost the sound of a train kind of coming, revving up behind you.
And that's the elemental?
Yeah, so it's a bit close behind you guys. Not super close, but you can see it's leaving the other guys and coming towards you guys.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so then it's Silas's go.
Gonna go ahead and get to the king.
All right, you're able to kind of step up, and as you step through, kind of there's a wall of sheer kind of just it hurts to walk through it, just but as you step into the eye, it's just a calm snow kind of gently falling around where the king is, and he's still kind of sitting, kind of barely glancing in your direction, and he starts to see for the first time. He notices as you come in, he sees you through the blizzard, and he just kind of looks up. His eyes are still a little glazed over. His hair is encrusted with frost, but now he's looking at you.
I want to try offering him a fairy good berry.
Okay, so you offer that to him. He looks at it confusingly. He picks it up, and the berry starts to kind of freeze over. And then he looks at you a little befuddled. He's like, What is this?
It has healing properties. You're hurting. You seem as though you need healing.
He's like, I have no appetite. And he kind of goes back down. You can make a persuasion check.
Okay.
He's just, I have no appetite.
Damn, I'm not proficient. Ooh.
So he holds it, and as it freezes over and it crusts. Go ahead and remove it one from your inventory, but it freezes over into ice. And he's just I've not been hungry. And he drops it, and it shatters on the ground. And is leaning back in his throne a little bit.
How much opportunity do I have to chat here?
You can say one more thing. It's your action to speak to the king.
What is that lady? She gave us her name, right?
Which lady?
The one with the picture.
She didn't give you her name because none of you asked.
Oh, she didn't? Oh.
No, none of you asked her name.
But do you know she's like a servant here? Or like a helper?
Yeah.
Okay. One of your helpers informed us that there's something to do with your daughter. Is that right?
He kind of like looks up and you can see like tears kind of in his eyes. And as they kind of roll down, they're like freezing into just... And then with that check, so yeah, we'll say that moves on. Eddie, it's your go.
Okay, this is definitely weird. So he's like attentive, he's just sulking.
He's talking to Silas right now, but yeah, he seems very sulky, I guess is a good word for it.
Well, like, I have a plan, but it doesn't seem very concrete now. Now that he's been spoken to.
Yeah.
I thought that would turn out differently. Okay, does using an item take up my full action?
Depends on the item.
Potion.
It's supposed to. It does. I let Silas get away with it because in one of the unearthed arcanas for Artificer Alchemist, they're like potions as a bonus action. So I would say for this, any store-bought potion, anything like that, or like found normal-ass potion is a normal action. Because it's just from a clunky-ass file, but I'd say that if Silas makes you guys a potion because of the Artificer, it's a bonus action.
Does anyone have any idea who made my potion of greater healing?
Potion of greater healing probably is just a normal ass. I don't think Silas made that.
No, I don't believe I did.
Okay, I think that's my whole turn because I need to do that.
Okay, so are you still moving towards where the king is?
Yeah, I'll move closer to the king and take a potion of greater healing.
All right, so you're able to get close. You see the eye wall. You're not able to cross through the threshold, but you see almost through a veil of like just ice. And as you get even closer, it's almost like the wind stops and it's just like frosted glass. And you're seeing Silas speak to the king, kind of distorted through the ice wall. You take your potion of greater healing, so go ahead and roll that.
I don't know what it is. What do I roll?
Go ahead and Google that while we move to Elvis.
Okay.
All right. So, is this storm? Is it moving? I'm assuming it's probably moving quicker than my tree can follow. Right?
Moving quicker than your tree, but you can also the tree moves you like a mount because it moves on your turn, and then you're able to have your own movement.
Okay.
Because you can kind of like jump off of it.
It's moving away, right? It's moving towards the king.
Yeah, it's moving towards where Eddie and
really
Silas
the
are.
king, but yeah. Okay, so the tree would move, and it would not be in position for me to do anything after that,
I would say
right?
it could get up to where Fang is.
I would have to dismount?
Yeah, so the tree can get up to where Fang is, and then you can use your own movement, which would be 20 feet of normal movement or 10 feet of safe movement on the ice. I'd say actually because where Fang is, he melts the ground around him because he's the fire snake. So the path around you guys it constantly is refreezing, but it's like a slushy, not an ice. So you're able to move through it normal. So yeah, normal movement.
I don't think it's probably the best idea for me to even attack this thing, but I will move forward as quickly as my tree can go.
All right, your tree moves up to here. You're able to dismount, and you're able to get up to where you can see the blizzard. And you can still hear the clinking sound of like the musical notes of the ice swirling and the weird percussive sound of something inside it.
Is there, I probably don't know, and I don't think I can make a check for it. There isn't any, it's just like, is there like one thing that I can like hit? Like if it were, because when I got hit with the blizzard, it was like an area AoE effect, but is there like is there something of substance that I can strike at?
You did hear that there was the percussive sound, so the differentiation between the sound of the ice swirling and a weird percussive sound of something inside. So you get the sense that there is like a core to it.
Okay. I will actually go ahead and make a strike then.
Okay, I'm saying if
This might be risky, but
you're aiming for that, I'm going to go ahead and
try
give
it.
you. Since you identified that for this attack, I'll give you advantage looking for the core. So do an attack with advantage here.
Okay, I'll go do it. Let me see what I want to do. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do one staff, one melee strike, one hand staff, one melee strike. And you said advantage?
Mhm.
Is that on both of them or just the first strike?
I'll say the first one.
Okay.
So. Okay.
And here's the melee.
So we're taking the damage at the first roll, but the attack roll. So your first one, as you swing your staff, you connect, like, it swishes through a bunch of the like, shattering the little ice particles to dust, and then you're aiming for that percussive, like, thrumming sound, and as you hit it, it just kind of, like, sounds like a gong being rung. And the ice shards kind of, like, briefly freeze, and then swirl really, really fast, and as you try to aim for the punch, it's, like, buffeted by the wind of it spinning and kind of crosses up and is pushed away by the wind. But the first hit hits for 9 bludgeoning.
Oh, hi, Cosmo.
And it's the top of the round with the ice storm. So, Eddie, advantage on your Constitution saving throws.
Now?
Yeah, like every beginning of the round for everybody. Dang.
Damn.
So you take 6 cold damage, and then your exhaustion stacks up one more time. So now you're moving a little slower. You're right at the threshold to get to the king, but you have 2 stacks now.
Okay. Okay. So I mean, I just want to like move to the king first.
Okay.
Like, okay. Actually, how far away from me is he?
He hasn't.
How far away?
This was the start of the round. You're the one who made it because you're.
So it's not my turn.
Not quite your turn yet. So Fang actually sees you though. So Fang's looking through, and he sees you just freezing your ass off, and then he kind of like looks to where Elris is striking at the storm, and he does the dash action. So he's trying to move double speed to where Eddie is, and so he's like coiling through, and as he's like snaking through the snow, it's sizzling into steam, and he dashes close to you to try to like he's not like right next to you, but as he's getting closer to try to keep the deeper cold off of you. And the dash action was his action there. But as he passes, the storm makes an attack at him. Fuck. 11. 8 to 10. So he actually is hit as he gets closer to you. Like he arrives, and then the heat is melting the snow and like warming you. And then this shard of ice just swept by, and as it hits the snake, it pierces through, and you see the snake spin in the air, and as it lands, it's just Fang in his human form landing next to you and starting to grow cold next to you as he's knocked out of his snake form. And so 11 damage carries over because the snake was wounded, so he takes 5 damage on top of that. Now it's the elemental's turn, and as it sees Elris, it just, like, as you struck the core, it's like swirling, and it kind of like conglomerates back into a damaged version. You can tell as there's not as much ice, as it's kind of like it tries to defend itself, and the ice encases around the core, and it becomes the elemental again. And you can see as the king's face, the visage, and the ice is kind of cracked and melting, and it's more misshapen. And he makes an attack towards Elris. 13 plus 8. So I think that hits.
Yeah, it does hit me.
And then 8 plus 7 plus 5. 20 damage.
I don't know if I'm able to do this, but that does bring me to 0. But can I react as it hits me?
You can react with your. I think you have that staff that can bring up your shield.
I was going to reflect damage.
As you get KO'd?
Like, am I even? Is that something I can do?
Yeah, I'd say that you could do it. Because that's your thing, is reflect the damage. That...
Yeah,
so
I'm... Go ahead and do that, because I'm the staff, the glass staff wouldn't save me from being KO'd, I don't think.
It gets +5 to your armor class, so I hit you for an 8. 21 to hit, so if you do -5...
it would actually.
Up to you.
It would actually... Ooh. I'm going to make a dice roll here.
Alright.
Odds, I reflect damage. Evens, I live into the turn. Alright, I'll activate my staff and...
So as the thing's
myself.
coming towards you, you see like briefly just it's like right coming towards you, and your like light flickers before your eyes, and then you're able to kind of like, as you bring up your staff, it connects with your staff. You're holding it back, and it's pushing towards you, and your staff does a brief glow as it thrums with energy, and then it boom, you like knock it off as the fist like clangs and flies off. And you know what's super funny though is it is multi-attack, so it swings again.
Oh my gosh.
So 16 plus...
I want you to come back to this point and let me know if reflecting damage.
All right, so 24 to hit. Well, this
is
attacking.
That's definitely hitting.
Okay, it hits a lot less though because I rolled really low this one. So +5. So this hits for 8.
Okay.
So as you kind of like clang, you throw the staff off. The other hand comes around and hits you right in the gut, and kind of like you step back to lessen the impact, and boom, hits you for 5. And now it's Silas's go.
Hits me for an additional 5 on top of the 8? Or was it just...
Oh, no, just the 8,
5?
Sorry. It was just the 8, yeah. Because
okay.
It was 5 plus...
Are you okay? Like, can we see?
Like, I can... If you roll for it, I can tell you what I have.
No, well, I mean, I'm just...
I would say metagame,
really
you're totally...
Yeah, no, I
see
can't
it
tell.
all. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fine. All right, back to me then?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
So what was the
wait,
last
no,
thing
we
he
should,
said?
combine our turn. We should combine our turn to
Are
help each other.
Is he here yet?
I would say that
what are you
because
doing
your initiative is stacked next to each other, you could take a simultaneous turn if you want.
Okay, I was gonna say because we're both trying to do the same thing, but if we do it together, we probably
Sure.
make more of an impact.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll see that as Silas is kind of like looking at the king, he hesitates briefly, and Eddie kind of like steps through, and as he breaks through this kind of like the ice wall, he steps in, and he's like, his eyebrows are frosted, his face is blue, his like fingers and toes are purple, and he like comes through, and he like stumbles in, and now what do you guys do?
Excuse me.
You
Okay,
made it just
here's
in
my
time,
plan.
friend.
Here's my plan. I'm gonna cast command to make him like. I'm gonna give like a military like drill sergeant call and say attention, and make him like get up and like.
Is
look
there a negative effect of using command if it fails?
We'll find out. He rolls.
I don't know if I want it.
Well,
What's the spell save
literally,
DC for you?
14.
14. Oh my god. So I rolled an 8, and the guy has +5, so he is a 13.
Oh, thank God.
So as he sits, so you just yell attention just to get like attention.
Yeah, like because he looks dazed, like he doesn't really know what's going
Yeah.
on. So like, I mean, I don't know if attention is the correct word to use, but my goal is to basically make him like.
I'm going to use attention because you do have to say a specific word because it's
Okay.
a single word command.
But I'm going to do it like a military style. So
Okay.
I'll do it,
I'll say you do that kind of thing, and then
like loudly.
his eyes kind of like unfocus and glaze. He was looking at the fallen fruit that he dropped and shattered. And then he hears you shout it, and his eyes just snap up, like he's looking down, and his eyes just snap up to you, and instantly kind of like his pupils dilate, and he focuses directly on you.
Okay. And then I guess like together, me and Silas need to like. I mean, my goal is to like tell him to like see what he's doing, and like to look back at the handmaiden we unthawed, and like show him how he's like hurting everyone. because he's not a bad person, but he's
Okay.
like really fucking things up for everybody.
So that's what you're saying. Silas, what are you saying?
Is this where I could use inspiration? What does inspiration give me exactly?
Advantage.
Yeah, it would be an advantage on a roll.
Okay. So,
Where'd you get inspiration again?
You gave it to me last time for our chat in RP.
Sure, I remember I did. In the Facebook group chat.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, Marissa's pulling out all the stops there.
So, yeah, because if not, it ends up with me being dead. Anyways, I'm going to try to relate to the king.
So, trying to use the insight check to get an idea of...
Sure. I mean, and I'd like to RP this, but just to give you kind of the rundown, I basically want to say how Eddie's lost his dad, or at the very least, he doesn't know where he is, and how I've left my entire family. So we kind of know what it's like to be missing someone.
Wait, I need to cut you off for a very important thing. Shane, while Silas is saying this, can you change the music to Sadness and Sorrow from Naruto?
Oh my god, yes, let's go! God damn it, Colin. So you want me to cry? You just want me to fucking
All right,
cry.
here we go.
RP it now.
Sadness and Sorrow,
here
1
we go,
hour
here we go,
mix.
here we go.
Oh shit, you actually did.
Okay.
No, it's too much.
So as you're talking to the king, go ahead and do an insight check with advantage.
Ooh. Thank
okay.
God I had advantage.
Yeah,
oh, well, that was my first roll anyways, so it didn't matter.
So
Thank God, yeah.
So as you're relating, you mentioned like the loss of the family.
See,
He's
he
like,
got it. It touched him here. You heard it in his voice, Colin. You heard that, Colin.
There's no way we fail with this music.
So, so for Silas though,
Shane, are you
because
Shane,
you have,
do we need a break?
Oh my god, because you have
I'll run
that
down
stupid
there, I'll
memory
hug you.
thing. I was waiting for one of you guys to say it, but I'd say Silas would remember that because you're trying to relate the family. You remember the name of his daughter is Aravel.
I actually have the name of his daughter written down, so I didn't need you to tell me that. Hang on, because I didn't actually hear what the fuck you said.
Gotcha.
But give me a second. Yeah, I'll look it up right here. It's where's my notes? Aravel, daughter of king.
Nice. So okay, we're RP it. I'm gonna give you the chance to kind of like, if you want to like bring all that in.
Not right now.
Gotcha. So you just kind of like as you relate the sense of loss of Eddie looking for his father and you leaving your own family, like leaving home. You mentioned Ariel. He kind of like looks up, and Elris, as you're fighting the elementals, the snow blizzard stops and it just starts to like snow's falling down, and the elemental like as it's like straining against you like with the staff, its arm becomes like a little weakened and it starts to kind of like melt into water. And it's not fully melted yet, it's just starting to soften up as it's fighting you, as the king's attention is focused back on the present moment. And he says, how do you know of my daughter?
Like I mentioned before, the helper, she told us that she's not with you anymore.
And you say you ran away from your family. Why? Why
More
would
or
you do
less.
something like this?
To help them.
To help them.
They're in a situation right now where they're not doing what's best for them. And I needed to leave so that I can go back and help them.
I don't think she left to help me. His eyes go back to Eddie, and he's like, you're looking for your father, you say?
Yeah, I never knew. I never knew my dad.
And he's...
So, I'm terrible at roleplay, dude.
Yeah, go for it.
No,
Go for
Colin,
it. Yeah,
you're
let it
doing
out. Let it
well.
out. Yeah, so far so good.
I never knew my dad, so I feel for you here. But there's one thing I can guarantee, is if she ran away, this isn't the right way to go about it. I tell him to like look around and I explain, what his castle looks like, what he's done to the people,
Yeah.
and try to like open his eyes to like what he's doing.
And through the blizzard, as it's like stopped and it's just kind of like frosting down, he like looks out and he's seeing the statuesque people kind of frozen down. He's like, I guess I've wallowed in my sorrow a little longer than I intended. And he kind of like stands up from his throne, and the ice elemental's like starting to fully melt, and you can feel that core that you hit just clunk out of it and like land on the ground. And it's a like small, tiny blue shard of ice that's like rolling out. And then he looks at Eddie and he says, "You say you're looking for your father, and it's written all over your face. My daughter might be gone, but maybe I can reunite you with your own father. I knew him. He lived here at this castle."
Oh, my eyes open up. Okay.
And like everything else is starting to slowly fall, gently, like very slowly, as he's talking
I'd like to
you.
look around. Can I see Elris? I want to make sure that he's okay.
Yeah, because as like the snow, it's now like a gently falling snow as you're like looking through and you see. Now it's just kind of like frosting and like gently. The temperature is shot up like 30 degrees, it feels like. And you can see as Elris is kind of like, he puts down his staff because he's like looking down at the small ice chunk that landed and rolled away from the golem. And as the king is looking to Eddie, he's like, "Yeah, your father was, I suppose he'd be kind of like the court wizard here. He was an odd one. He would always go this way and that. And I guess I kind of blamed him a little bit. He would always speak of the worlds outside of the walls, outside the safety of the castle. And I think his stories got into my daughter's head, and she wanted to see more of the outside, I guess." And he kind of like steps over and he goes to one of the paintings that's like thawing now. And you look up and you can see his hair. It was pure white and like blue at the end. It's starting to kind of like fade back as everything's kind of like melting. The color of red and gold is kind of coming back to everything. His own hair is like a deep, deep red. And he goes up to a painting and it's just kind of like him with like an autumn tree behind him, standing next to this young girl. It looks to your eyes like she would be like 6 or 8. Under 10, it looks like. She has like pure red hair, kind of like freckles and deep green eyes that are the same shade as the king's.
Silas kind of touches his hair a little bit. He's also redhead with green eyes.
She said that she wanted to see more. I don't understand why anyone would leave. The comfort, the safety, the majesty. And he glances around and he kind of like looks and sees everything frozen. And you can see as he starts to get a little, like a flicker of guilt goes over his face. He's like, "Maybe I did chase her away, Theon. Clutching too hard onto something."
I want to tell him that even if he did, you can't stop someone from being curious. Maybe you've seen the outside world, but she never did. And if you did chase her away, there's no sense worrying about what you did wrong. The only thing you can do now is look forward, because she's not dead. She's not gone. And you can still be the kind of person that she wants to come home to when she's done exploring.
How can you be so sure that she's not gone?
Well,
outside the walls, a little girl running away into the dangers of the Feywild, and she was speaking of the mortal world. Like, there she would age, she would grow old, she would change. I can't keep her safe from the ravages of time.
Sometimes life isn't about keeping her safe or staying alive. It's about enjoying the time you have left.
And he kind of sits back on his throne and he's like looking still up at the painting of like him and his daughter. Everything's kind of red, and everything's starting to thaw. And like Elris, you're kind of like released from the the fighting. So everyone has. Like, what are you doing, Elris?
I'm gonna thank my tree friend.
He actually has deep like autumn leaves too. He kind of looks. He just gives you kind of like a little. He puts his like gnarled, knuckly fist up to you.
I just stand there.
He glances at his fist and he's like,
Oh my god, that's right.
he's like holding it out to you.
Can Elris
Oh, the tree.
The
The tree just.
Oh my god, Shane, did you just realize that?
The tree just shrugs and looks and kind of like looks down. His arm, his like thick gnarled arm, kind of drops and his shoulders slump. He looks sad.
Wait, what? I'm missing something.
Can I have caught this interaction, please?
Sure. Wait, do a
blind,
perception
Colin,
I
check.
can't see.
Do a perception check.
I just shout over.
The tree goes.
A perception, you said?
The tree speaks Sylvan. Do you speak Sylvan?
No. No, I don't think so.
I hear
Sylvan?
Silas and apologize for my rudeness.
The tree kind of like cocks its like big gnarled head a little bit, and he like takes your fist, and you feel his gnarled tree hand in yours, and he raises your fist up, and he goes, boom, and he bumps it.
Yeah, I fall back from the bump.
And he just picks you. He picks
that.
you up off the ground by your like cloak, and he puts you in his branches, and you start to like lumber towards where everyone else is. And I'm guessing Fang is standing near a pillar, just being like, I fucking hate Fang."
Brooding.
Like,
Sasuke?
Yeah, very rude.
Yeah. And so the king is like, "Yes, you're. Tell me, when did your father leave?"
I don't know.
I was assuming like he left when you were pretty young. So.
Oh, okay. I don't even remember my father. All I know about him are the things he left behind.
He looks up at another painting and he kind of like steps over through it, and like where he's walked, the snow is like melting more. And it's a picture of him with the guy that looks an awful lot like Eddie, like the same hair color, same eye color, like the same nose, and like the ears are more pointed, the facial features are a little bit more sharpened. And he's like, I see the resemblance is, he looks back at you, he's like, rather striking. He's like, his name was Avelos. He was, as I said, the court wizard. He would be he liked to experiment and travel. And his interest was in crossing realms. He would not just wander here and there, he would wander win and beyond. And through space itself. And he kind of like goes back, and he next to where his throne was, there's like as the other servants are kind of like melting, he goes and talks to one of them, and he like bows deeply and apologizes, and he whispers some words you can't hear. And the servant kind of nods and then rushes off. And he comes back, he's like, I think your father might have left something for you. I'm having it being retrieved. He's like, so tell me why.
Stop the sad song now, though, Shane.
I'm still feeling the sad song.
I think
Okay.
we're past the sad song.
I'm feeling it.
All right. So I definitely want to mess with more music. I want quick side.
No, that was perfect. It was amazing. But I feel like
more...
he's starting to warm up now, and then the sad song is just keeping me sad.
Yeah.
Good call on that. Colin.
Yeah. So I want songs because like I want to have background music be a massive thing.
We just need to know.
Something not as sad, but not very happy either.
This is probably too happy.
I don't hear anything.
Yeah, that's gonna have to play it.
I like Kokiri Village or some.
No, it's just some classical ass music.
Yeah, it's a little too happy.
My cat is sitting in the box, snoring.
Cats do those kind of things.
Like he's on the other side of the room and I can hear him snore.
Sounds like Ringo.
My cats do not snore.
Ringo doesn't have a choice. He is always congested.
Always?
Yeah, I think Leo's something like that.
Well, Ringo has an actual virus, a lifelong virus.
Galeo has kitty herpes.
Oh, he
Wow.
does? Does he really?
Yeah, when I took him to the
Really?
vet a couple months ago.
That's what we
That's
thought
why
Ringo
she-
might have had at
Forever, or
first.
just like a cold sore?
It's different for cats.
I mean,
It's like
I
a,
don't
Yeah,
know.
it's
it's like a
different.
perpetual cold that they keep getting.
Yeah, we
Galeo
tested
has
Ringo
that.
for that because we thought that's what he had too, but he's got Khaleesi
corona.
virus.
There's like apparently nothing they can do for it.
Yeah, no, he just has to live with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
poor-
like
poor
it's like
Leo.
herpes to where it flares up, and he's just gonna get moments where he's like has like a flu, kind of super congestion.
Yeah,
That's sad.
poor Leo. I mean, he's
All right.
fine.
So we're gonna jump back to the game here. I'm gonna play this. I found. Oops, shit. Oh, fuck. It's reunion music. I looked. So, as I'm gonna turn the volume down a little bit, though. It's a little bit loud. So, as he's kind of like talking to you guys, do you guys say anything else to him?
I want to ask him if I can. Wait, how big is the picture? Can I ask him to keep it, or is it just like ridiculously large?
It was pretty large. It's like a large, like decorative wallpaper, so pretty big. And
Okay,
then, but as you like ask him about it, he kind of gets the sense, and he kind of like, as he reaches to grab it and pulls it off, it's almost like an optical illusion to where he's grabbing it and it's large, but as he turns to hand it to you, it's like small.
You cut out, Shane.
So as he reaches up to grab it, it feels like it's one of those optical illusions to where he's holding it and it's large, and as he's pulling it off the wall and turns to hand it to you, it's like fits in like a your palm kind of size.
Nice. Okay, I can like kind of roll the picture up and put it in my bag.
And he's like, anyone else want to say anything before the servant comes back?
I want to ask him if he knows where my dad went, and also if he knows where his daughter went.
And he looks and he's like, my daughter said she wanted to explore the realm that you were from, the human realm. And your father? And he kind of laughs. He's like, your father, he's been going through, like I said, time, space. It's not really a matter of where, because he's not in any location that you'd find on a map or a compass. He always wanders kind of between. And he seemed to come back and be in a frenzy, kind of a different state. He mentioned he had a son, and to give something to him, but he needed to accomplish something. And as the servant kind of comes back, he hands you 4 stones that are kind of like magnetically clunked together, like and then there's like a scroll kind of that's ornately wrapped, and it has different seals along each side, and each seal has a different word written in a different language. And he hands these 4 little stones to Eddie, and then he hands the scroll. And the first word is in Common, and the second word is in Sylvan, the third word's in Draconic, and then it keeps going down into more and more weird languages that you don't recognize.
Oh, wait, I thought there was
I'll
only
read
4.
most of that.
What's that?
I thought it was only 4 words.
No. So there's multiple words on it. Let's see what
Okay, so it's just a scroll with a huge list of words in different languages.
So it's like it's like a seal. So it's like a scroll, and then like there's different seals on each one, kind of like like a
Okay.
stamp.
No, what do you mean by on each one?
So there's a
On
scroll that's
each
wrapped
one.
up, and then it's like a seal kind of like rolled around each. So you know how there's like that, like a wax stamp
Like
that
a
people put.
bow?
Yeah, kinda like a bow with a
How-
wax
how many
stamp.
seals?
So
How many seals?
Real quick. A few of them. I'll just say I add the first ones. I haven't written down here. Each one's in a different language. You can tell the first few kind of recognizing them as languages, and then the rest of them get more and more obscure.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like there's 7 seals. So 7 seals. The first one's in
question.
Common, and it's just written, and it says Sun. The second one is written in Sylvan, and you can read Sylvan.
Sun like space sun, or like sun like my sun?
Sun like my, like sun, S-O-N.
Okay. Another question. How should I notate this? Because that's too much to type in an inventory line.
Just scroll of 7 seals, and then we'll write down. Basically, it's just like as you read each. So as you read the first one, it kind of like you can the first one breaks as you just say the word out loud, and you're able to roll the scroll out to a certain degree. And it says, "My son, if you're reading this, you found your way across the astral sea." And then that's the first, as far as the first seal goes.
Oh, okay.
And then you have the 4 stones that are like magnetically clunked together. And then Tracendir, the king, or he's actually the lord of the Autumn Citadel. And as the snow's melting, it looked like everything's going back to fall, like the season of fall. And it seems to be like this is what the normal look of the place is. And he's like, "So what brings you all to awaken me from my despair?"
Well, we were actually hoping you could help us. We've been kind of stuck in this place for a while, and we're wondering if you could help us get back home.
Okay. More people trying to leave this place and go back to the human realm. But yes, I can show you where she left through, and he kind of is like walking out, and he leads you back down through the palace, and everything is distinctly changed, whereas before it was coated in ice, and the colors were like white and blue. Now the colors are red and gold, and everything is, like I said, everything is kind of feels like it was in the middle of autumn. And he leads you past that tree that was out front, and then he kind of like gives you all a nod. And the other tree, I guess, is still following you guys. And like they kind of like shake their boughs in a little weird tree way, like they're talking to each other. And he leads you around, and you see this like courtyard. All those white flowers that were frozen have gone back to their original colors, and it's this big field of beautiful flowers. And he takes you around to the other side of the palace, and there's like a big pool, kind of like constructed out of like ornate stones and bricks, kind of stacked up, and it's like a well. Kind of looks like a wishing well, kind of in the center. And he looks in, and the water there it seems like it's a just like a deepness to it, like hard to distinguish the color. And he's like, there are certain places where the fabric between realms becomes twisted, and they are weak and allow the passage on certain days, certain times. You might find yourself crossing over to another place. And he looks down at the well. He's like, this is one such place where things are weakened and divided. And normally you have to wait till certain stars and certain align. And he glances and he points to where your 4 stones were. And he's like, but this is something your father discovered. And he was using it to punch a hole between realms and cross through when they were distant and disconnected. And then he like points to where the well is, and he's like, if you throw them there, you should be able to get back home.
Will I still have them after I throw them?
He's like, they exist on both sides.
Weird. Before we go back, do you guys want to rest? Because I have like nothing.
Yeah, can we ask the king, Shane, if he can let us rest here before we go back?
He like nods, and he's like, remember though that the time here passes differently than the time back there, so an hour here might be longer or shorter. It's hard to judge time. Like, but you're
fine.
welcome.
We're really not in any hurry to get back.
You're welcome to stay as long as you please. I am. Company is most welcome and most appreciated after so long of a sorrow. And he kind of like takes you back through the palace courtyard, and then all the servants that are moving around, they don't seem at all bothered by being frozen. They're like, yeah, that's just how things are. And they kind of are setting up this giant like cornucopia feast at the table. Everything's kind of like pulled together, and it looks like delicious, magnificent food, all kind of like set aside. He's like, just stay, enjoy as long as you wish. I owe you a great thanks for bringing me back to my senses.
Nice. I asked the king, is there anything he recommends we do while we're still in this realm?
He's like, well, here there's plenty of sights. You can travel the gardens. They're beautiful. You can eat our delicious food. And it's just, and you can join me as I stand on the balcony and stare off at the trees, contemplating existence. And he sounds, he's just listing off a bunch of beautiful, like Henry David Thoreau kind of just sit and enjoy life activities.
Okay.
It's like it's a very meaningful existence to contemplate and just enjoy being existence. And but you guys would have, if you wanted, so it would take 2 days here, so like 2 sleep cycles. So if you guys wanted to do something in, like, so what does each one of your characters do for 2 days in this castle?
I think Elris is probably going to do most of the time resting because he's pretty beat up.
Okay.
I'm gonna make.
Is there a courtyard of some sorts?
Yeah, there's like plenty. There's like the courtyard where all of the different flowers grew that were frozen. There's the like the kind of like what it's described. So it's like a beautiful. Imagine just like a fantasy-esque castle. Like so if you can think of it, it's probably something there like that. And
I think he would spend some time in the courtyard, perhaps the study.
And the king actually
teaching
is with you like a lot of the time, to where you find him often just kind of like wandering around the courtyard between the flowers, kind of like seeming to literally his life just seems to be stopping and smelling the roses, and he's digging that.
He's just also going to try to do his best to teach Arcadis a thing or two.
Okay, yeah, so you're talking
get to know each other.
His turtle.
Him and Arcade.
Oh.
Okay.
Are there any spell users here at all, Shane? Anybody I could learn from?
He's like, well, everybody here is of elven descent, and we Eladrin, are deeply connected to the fabric and the weave. So you'd find you'd be hard pressed to find no magic anywhere here.
Anything in, like, I don't know, potion form?
He's like, you can look around the courtyard flowers. They are most diverse. They might have something interesting. You may pick a few of them. And then he mentions to you and Eddie, he's like, there was the lab of Avelos. He was most interested. I have not been in there in quite some time, but that's where most of his research and experimentation was done.
Eddie and I clasp hands, anime style, as we float in the air. Our eyes are sparkly, and we drift over to the lab.
All right, in order to cast Fly, you have to use a spell slot to go into your potions. All right,
No.
so I'll say that you get to the lab, and it's like this. It looks like it was once organized and very well put together, but now it's like sheafs of papers kind of like strewn about. You can see like weird chalk diagrams of like complex equations, like kind of like quickly scrawled on like cabinets, and like there's alchemic symbols and runes all over the floor that are kind of quickly and hastily scrawled everywhere.
Okay.
Can I investigate?
Yeah.
Same.
So both of you do an investigation check.
Efficiency, baby.
Which is pretty strong. And then
Yeah.
okay.
Ooh.
I want to say, Eddie, we're going to go with yours because you're reading the letter. So you see the second word. It's Wanderer written in Sylvan. And as you like read it out loud, the seal of that breaks. And then the second part of the scroll is, I was always an explorer, a wanderer. I drifted between the plains, aimless, until I met your mother. And then the next seal is written in Draconic.
Okay. So he's basically Leonard Skinner singing Freebird.
And then as you're looking around, so Silas, you're having a hard time.
Shane doesn't get that reference.
I know. Free bird. Like, come on. All right.
Like, Shane doesn't get that reference because he just laughed awkwardly and moved on.
No, I get it. So I'm like trying. I'm like. Let me read this big long thing I wrote, part of it to you guys, and then he's like, "It's like Freebird, isn't it?" So that's what. So Silas, as you're looking at these equations, most of them seem beyond like what they're complex, and a lot of them don't make sense. Like you haven't seen a lot of these things, but as you're like studying and kind of like looking at them, parts of them you're like seeing them like an equation written like scrawled and hastily over here, and you're looking at another one. They're even on the ceiling. You can see like runes and stuff written, and you start to get the sense that these are all different notations and ways of getting between dimensions. And it's starting to like, you're reading a story through the experiments of this guy, and he was attempting to travel between different dimensions using the star signs as like planets aligned would allow passage between some, and he developed ways to get around, like extend the window to where the portals were open. He could punch through and go between them. And then you get the sense of some of them to where he started trying a complex way of, instead of going to a dimension, to pull a dimension to him.
Eddie, your father was quite the brilliant man.
You're telling me. I like hardly understand half this stuff.
Silas kind of mutters to himself, softly enough that Eddie can't hear him. He must get his wits from his mother.
Wait.
You don't hear that. I say that to
That makes
myself. I meant to say, as far as like how smart you are, you definitely get that from your mom.
Oh, okay.
How
I do
how
have like
fitting.
a -1 intelligence.
yeah.
I'm aware.
Okay, I'm trying to see if I had other. Okay, you find a. I'll start with that because I have to pull. I didn't expect you guys to dig around here. I don't have a magic item, but I've made one before, so we'll say that you find a. It's actually a wand, and as you're looking at it,
Wait, who finds?
because Silas was digging around with that high roll. The roll was really high, or else I wouldn't have you find anything. It was so high I had to invent an item. So as you're looking around, you find it's hard to discern like what kind of like it also has like kind of the things written on it, and it seems like a wand. And as you're studying it, the best idea you can get from it is it's a wand of disintegration. But it seems like as you're learning like through it, it's harder to see the extra effects beyond that. So first glance, it's a wand of disintegration, but you get the sense that there's a more to it than that.
Dope.
Can I identify?
Yep. It's wand of disintegration, but it's
Even with identify, I don't. Really?
Yeah, with this one, wand of disintegration is the part that you get. You can point it at something, and they make a DC saving throw, and if they fail, it's disintegration. Like they get disintegrated.
Holy shit! What the fuck?
Yeah, and there's more. There's more to it that
crazy.
you. But like as you're like looking at it, to where it's like the complexity of like the runes and stuff put on it, it's the same as these equations that you were seeing on the wall, and the ones that you couldn't identify are like laid into it like layers and layers, like a web weaving around it and condensed over it. And so it's like you only almost see like the first part of it, and then you reach the part that's kind of beyond your understanding for it.
I tuck that into my bag.
So if there's anything else from you guys, 2 days have gone by, and hard to tell day and night.
Whoa! I was supposed to go into the garden and grab some stuff, like you said.
I still haven't told you what I wanted to do at all yet.
Okay, go ahead.
So who's going?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll say you get your flowers. You'll get. I don't know how many flowers, so just add 200 gold of alchemy points to your thing. And also, because you guys are here, you guys get your EXP, 20 XP, you guys level 5. Oh, yeah, I forgot. So as you guys are here, kind of like learning and resting, you've leveled up from fighting that. Elris, you pick up that little crystal that dropped out of the king, or dropped out of the elemental. No one asked about it, so I was going to pass it over, but I really wanted you guys to have it, so... the core that I
thought
kept.
you
I
said
meant
picked it up while we were there.
Honestly.
What's that?
I thought you said somebody picked it up while we were there.
No.
I
Elris,
meant
what
to,
did you
but I
say?
completely forgot.
Oh.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I feel like Elris would have picked it up, so I'm trying to like jump back, but I'm gonna. Those another training wheels to where like next
How
time,
would Elris have picked it up?
because he heard it clink.
I
He's the
heard
one
it.
he was aiming
Oh,
for it
okay.
the whole time, and it's the only thing that clinked out as the rest of it melted. It's
Oh,
actually
okay.
a single frozen teardrop from the Lord of Autumn that first fell when he like learned of his daughter leaving, and yeah, that's all I'll tell you for now. But
Let me identify.
okay, you identify because you have all this time.
Yeah.
So it's resurrection on an item.
So this
Oh,
Like I
You-
can use it to enchant.
resurrection properties.
Yeah, so it's just a
Phoenix
single
go
tier.
down.
It's a single tier of loss and regret, like focused. And so if you feed it to someone, they revive. They come back to life.
nice.
Save this for me.
Like even if they're
I know
even if
I'll
they're
need
like legitimately dead. Or
This is it casts
If
the
it's-
spell, like the high level cleric spell of revive.
It's a revive potion,
Yeah.
baby.
It's a phoenix.
It's a phoenix down. Quick note: I do my revives the way Matt Mercer does it, to where you have to do a DC check of 10 to revive, even with something that would just normally revive you. But then each person can reduce the difficulty check. It's like a special skill challenge, where like if Eddie does like a thing where he like calls out to Silas because Silas died, he calls out to the void in despair and shouts Silas's name. He can do like a charisma check, and if he succeeds, the DC of the revive check goes down, and everyone has a chance to do something personal, significant, or meaningful to bring that down. And then each time the person dies, it goes up a little higher. So it's like revives are a little more difficult using this, but they're more meaningful. And because like later on in the game, if you're powerful enough, you can just you're dead, pop back. You're dead, pop back up. And I'm not. This is more of a.
So is it reusable or is it like a one-time?
It's a one-time use. You feed it to them.
Okay.
And
All right, Shane.
yeah.
What I wanted to do is talk to my elven brethren and see if there's any like elven instruments or music things that I can pick up on or learn from them,
Okay.
or like a specific instrument that I can just. I was just because like I am so ready to ditch my harmonica for anything cooler.
Didn't you have a lute?
Didn't I give you? I was gonna say, didn't I give you a flute?
Hold on. There is a flute. of
Yeah, I'm allowed
picks.
to have 3. I have a lute, a flute, and a harmonica.
Okay, so you are talking around and asking, and let me find. I was thinking about giving this to you at some time, and I guess this is a pretty good time.
Oh, okay.
To flip through
So
all
I get
this
an extra attack.
Yeah, so you
at
guys
level
leveled up, and
5.
actually, you guys get special level up perks, DM custom made. So add these to your character sheet stuff. Eddie, you learned to cook because this is all just stuff that I've been seeing from your
Oh, yeah.
characters of stuff your characters have been trying to do or roleplay doing. These are minor perks that aren't like massive, but yeah. So you get the cooking perk if you look it up. The only thing is it doesn't bump your constitution up by 1, but you can on short rests aid in the healing of people by cooking meals, but it does use up.
Back with my Song of Rest.
It does stack, yeah, and you basically burn up your because I want to get to using these rations dice more, so you can like do an extra roll of the rations dice to make like a meal that everyone heals from, because you're like instead of just eating jerky and conserving, you're like going excess to make something, and then on long rests you can cook like a super feast and then give people temporary hit points that like are added onto them.
Cool.
And then Elris, you can use your key point to give yourself advantage in persuasion checks. Like, because you're using your wisdom, your like wisdom is added on, so you're able to try to like talk people down in the middle of a fight using a key point.
What can I call that?
Silas, you, with all your scrambling and being concerned for your own safety, can use hide as a bonus action.
Ooh. Nice.
And then
So what does that do exactly?
So hide is if you're
You
unseen.
never looked it up?
Yeah, so I would look that up.
Only if I'm unseen?
If you're unseen, yeah, you can't just disappear. But so you have to like be behind cover, hiding, and then you roll a stealth check versus other people's perception check. But if you're like out of someone's sight, you have a chance to just like you're hidden now. And then attacks from there have advantage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you use an attack from there, or you can try to move unseen. If you use an attack from hidden, it reveals you, but it gives you advantage because it's a sneak attack. And it basically lets you, and you can also be really tricky to where you can shoot your bow, like you can half your movement to run out and shoot, half your movement to run back, bonus action hide. So it allows a very like hit, like kind of Call of Duty, like pop in, pop out kind of.
Cool.
People can search for you, like if there's arrows coming from a direction, they're not going to be like, ooh,
Right.
must have been the wind, like a fucking Skyrim NPC. But they would have to search for you. They'd have to come up and like search. They don't just know where you're at. Like they'd have to go and look for you.
Nice.
All right, Shane, I have one thing that might be of note with my new what I gained from my level 5. So if I land a stunning strike and they fail their Constitution saving throw, they're going to be stunned until my next turn.
Yes.
And if the next turn I use open hand, they're going to automatically fail their strength or dex save.
Yes.
So I can just knock them prone immediately.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Prone isn't they're like stunned, they're just falling down. So they'd have to use 15 feet of their movement to get back up. And I'm going to have prone be more effective to everybody. So if someone's like prone and tries to get back up, people next to them can do an opportunity attack because they're trying to get up in the middle of something. But that affects you guys too. If you're knocked prone and you try to get up, then people around you get an opportunity attack.
Okay.
You have advantage on prone targets, and also you can drop prone yourself because if you're like a bow is being shot at you, if you drop to the ground, then the bow has disadvantage because you're like a low target and you can crawl.
So is that it was a bonus to persuasion, correct?
Advantage on persuasion.
Yes, advantage on persuasion. You burn a key point, so it's basically like I was trying to think of something that would affect all of you that you were trying to do with your character in an RP way to grow you in a custom way.
Okay, is that only during combat, or can I just do that really like whenever?
You can do it whenever.
Okay.
Ooh, my bardic inspiration is a D8 now.
Okay.
Really? That's nice.
Yeah, which means I also can give I can do the silver tongue and like give them a negative D8 on their rolls. And it's unsettling words. That's what it's called.
It's also now you get it back on short rests. Go ahead and everybody do their
anything?
Everything from what?
Do I gain anything from
third level
class, or is that just
this is subclass? Monks get their subclass at level 6. The only one who gets a subclass bonus, I think, Silas, because artificers get theirs at level 5. And then I'll have everybody go ahead and do their Constitution roll so we can level that shit up.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Constitution roll.
Is it
Constitution
plus our hit dice?
Yeah, this is just a hit dice. So just redo a hit dice roll and add this to your max HP.
Wait, hold on. I rolled a 17 for my Constitution roll.
Yeah, that's not
Wait,
right.
I'm
You gotta.
You roll
go
a
to your
hit
hit dice.
and then you add your Constitution proficiency.
Oh, my mod. Okay, so I go up by 9.
Plus your Constitution. Do you have anything for Constitution?
No, it should add their Constitution to it.
I rolled the 7 plus 2 is 9. Yeah. So, okay, so my health goes up by 9. So I'm at 45 health.
That didn't add yours, Marissa.
Yeah, mine didn't add anything, Shane.
I don't think you have a Constitution bonus.
Oh, or could
oh no, yeah, you're right. It says a proficiency.
I get level 3 spells, baby.
Yeah, you get. So now you guys are actually going to be bonkers. All right, Colin, do a performance check.
All right.
So as you're playing with these other elves, kind of like with the music, they're like kind of challenging and seeing what you can do. And it's basically a playoff between you and another bard.
26.
God fucking damn it. All right, it's a roll off. I'm giving this guy... He's like an expert bard.
Oh, okay.
So you +7. I'm gonna give this guy. Oh shit! I gave him +10 because an expert bard, but he rolled an 11.
You rolled a fucking 1.
No, he rolled an 11. So let's
Okay,
see.
so you got 21.
So it's like a mini skill challenge here. So then he challenges you for the
So
performance
I'm
check.
just like through the fire and flames. On
And then
my
he
fucking
challenges. He
blue
sees
blade.
you, and then he challenges. So like now that it's a singing, do a persuasion check as you guys are kind of like battling off. This guy's +10 on
Or
his
rap
shit.
battling.
Yeah, it's like I'm giving this guy +10 in all his rolls as he's competing with you.
Persuasion.
God damn it, he rolled a 5. Fuck.
24.
Oh my god, Shade.
Okay, now do a Constitution check because you guys are like battling to see who can play the longest.
Now we're just fucking punching
God.
each other.
Fucking damn it.
And
Okay, he plays. You end at the same time because he rolled a 5. All right. Damn it! I gave this guy a really high. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. He hands you his loot at the end of it. He's impressed by it, and okay, whatever the fuck. He hands you a lute with like elven writing all over it. And this is it's an uncommon instrument of the bards. I was waiting to give it to you, and I guess this is the fucking time, and you won the roll because this thing is a bonkers item. It might be the strongest item I've given out, and it's done. Although the tree's pretty good. All right, so it's a lute that has all of these spells on it once per long rest. It's like a lute with all these spells, and the spells. Listen to this shit. All of these instruments have it. There's a bunch of different instruments. It has fly, invisibility.
Okay.
Levitate, protection from good and evil, and then the unique ones are bark skin, cure wounds, and fog cloud.
Wait, okay, so how I get one of those per long rest?
No, you have
get
all
all
of
of
these, but if you use a spell, it burns it up, and you can't.
So I can't use the same thing once, but I can cast each of those once per
Let's see.
long rest with the thing.
You can use an action to play the instrument and cast one of the spells. Yes, so it can't be cast again. So
Okay. Can you either hold on, repeat that, or just send me a link to it?
okay, I'm actually going to
So I'm
change your
gonna write it
instrument because it's a lute. So instead of the bark skin, cure wounds, it's the one with animal friendship, protection from energy, from fire, and protection from poison. So if you look up DOS lute 5e, that's what it is.
DOS loot.
DOSS lute. But it also has attached to it fly, invisibility, levitate, and protection, good and evil, which is ridiculous.
Okay. So.
And then I'm actually going to have you guys, because you guys will level up, we'll do this. I needed to finish off really quick. So you guys go through the portal after your long rest. Is that right? Everyone's kind of finished doing their things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm
All
good.
right. So as you guys kind of finish up your long rests, you level up and you get your specific thing. Tracendir asks you, he's like, if you see my Aravel out there, let her know that I miss her and see if she'll return home. And
Let her know.
Okay.
For you.
as you guys go to the well, it almost jumps from your hand. You like hold out those stones, and each one of them like clunk, 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 makes like a square over the well, and then like a ripple of energy kind of goes across it, and it's like this weird purplish swirling. Like you can see stars and all this shit, and it's like a portal.
All right, so we jumping through, right?
All right, so you guys jump through, and as you jump through the portal, it's like you're just thrown into space. Like it feels like you're floating kind of like through space. Everything just feels weird and like gravity's not there.
Horizon?
What's that?
Is there an event horizon?
No, it's not like a black hole, really. You're just kind of like floating through. Kind of. So as you get there, but as you're floating through what just feels like space, and like there's like currents. You can see like currents of like almost like an ocean kind of flowing through. But as you're going, you see in the distance like stars kind of like blinking out, and then everything becomes darkness as all these stars kind of like are winking out into blackness. And then you start to see more lights like the stars blink on. But as they're blinking, you see at first look, it just looks like it's like a star, kind of a pinprick of light. But as you look closer, it's eyes opening up all around you guys. And you see like a few of them opening up until everywhere around you throughout the entire black void just thousands and thousands and thousands of eyes are opening up, like looking at you, and you can tell that they're just like looking intensely, like they see you, and like they're staring at you. And as you guys are flying through the space, you do see kind of like an event horizon, and as you guys kind of like pass through this barrier, kind of like there's like and you guys are all dropped to the ground, and the stones kind of like clink together and then land all around Eddie. And you guys like look up and you see an oddly familiar castle, and it's the castle where you guys fought King Groll. And you see as it's like been repaired, like you see as like parts of it were before it was collapsing. They've been built back up through like you can see stones placed up. You can see like the walls repaired, and you actually see as you look around, it's winter. Everything is like deep snow, kind of like where you guys are.
Still in the cold.
One more time, Shane. Tell me the spells attached to it, the extra ones. So I have animal friendship, protection from energy, protection from poison, flying, invisibility, and what?
I think it's protection from good and evil.
Good and evil.
And as you guys, we'll double check that at the end there. And then as you guys are, like you hear as you're kind of like looking your days disoriented, kind of in the snow, you hear like a like the sound of many footsteps, kind of like coming around you. And you look around and you see just lines and lines and rows of goblins, hobgoblins, bugbears are all like surrounding, and they're in clean, like nicely well-oiled armor, and like their weapons aren't just ragged and destroyed. They look like they're like cleaned and commissioned. And you see there's like 50 goblins and hobgoblins are kind of like coming, and they're all surrounding you, and they're all pointing spears at you. They're like,
Oh my god!
"Stop! Who are you? Who goes there?"
God damn it! I love us again, the band. We entertained you lot.
There's a quiet hush that echoes like through all of them, and they all are looking at you. And I get my phone. So they're like muttering between, like, and then like low muttering kind of comes up, and you watch as they all start to like kind of like bow down around you, and they all kneel looking at you.
Ah, yes, a right proper greeting, lot. Don't be a cunt.
And you can hear the words they're whispering. They're like whispering, like Barley Deskar, Magyar Baskir, Wargtak. And they're all like kind of muttering. And then one of the hobgoblins like kind of like looks up respectfully to you guys and comes over, and he's like, "You finally returned. He said you would." He's like, "The king wishes to see you."
Right. Lot, let's go then.
And they kind of take you.
Not wasting time, Tootaloo.
They walk back to the castle, and they're like, "Yes, King Droop said that you would return."
Great.
And you guys are led to this back to the throne room. You go back where you guys were. The castle's all constructed, like put back together. And you go back through, and you see, as you like walk through, you see statues of yourselves built up, and it's like Eddie's out there, and he has this like cunning look on his face, and his hands are up. You actually see Silas, as Silas is like expanded large in his like Hulk form, and you see like all of you are like magnified and written in plaque. You can see like there's a plaque for each one of you. Silas underneath reads Barley Deskar. Elris has Magyar Briskier written on it, and then Eddie has Wargtak. And you can see like Iridanza has one, and then Barska has one. And as you guys go through, you see sitting next to where was King Groll's throne is this giant owl bear that's like even bigger than it was last time you guys saw it, sitting next to the throne. And you see Droop sitting on the throne. He has a long reddish beard. He has like a scar over one eye. He's like, he tells you guys, he's like, "You've come back. It's been 5 years."
I run to Droop and yell, "Droop!"
And that's where we're going to end.
Okay. Very cool, Shane.
So you've come back 5 years later.
Very entertaining adventure this week.
Droop.
Droop. I just like you guys watched. You guys have seen Soul Eater, right?
No, I don't intend to.